Hello students, welcome to lecture number 3 for mathematical physics practical based on C programming. Up to now we have discussed about how to run a C program in Linux terminal, and using those commands different programs you can run. But to increase your credibility, you have to understand the basic structures of C program. So basically today we will discuss about the structure of C program. So mainly here we will discuss about what is the meaning of the first line #include stdio.h or inside bracket something.h. Two types of include structure is there. So what does it all mean? If you understand that, you can use in different purposes. After that we'll discuss about the second line of C program, and thirdly we'll discuss about the body of the C program, how it should be structured for different programs. So first of all, let's discuss about point number A. This is called #include directive. #include directive. There might be two type of syntax. Suppose #include inside a bracket or #include inside inverted comma, double inverted comma. So these two things are different. Basically this, for your practical, this is needed. So we'll discuss about the #include in the bracket 1. In C programming language, the #include directives tells the preprocessor to insert the contents of another file into source code at the point where the #include directive is found. Include directives are typically used to include the C header files for C functions that are held outside of the current source file. So for example, suppose in a college different libraries are there. Okay, one is for mathematics, physics, chemistry. So different libraries are there. So if you want to study mathematics, you have to go to mathematics library, and similarly the other two. Now similarly C program, where this line says that which library you want to include, this line is the header line. So suppose you want to use some mathematical functions, then you have to use #include math.h. Suppose a general library also there, general. In that case you can use #include standard stdio.h. So in any C program, the program will start like this, and this part can be changed depending upon the library you are choosing. So different libraries like math.h, stdio.h, time.h, string .h. These types of libraries will be there. So basically these 4 libraries are most important for your analysis, where math.h is based on the math function, standard input output functions, and this is the time functions. These are the string functions. I hope you know the string, which are in a number of arrays, characters will be there. So these are the string functions. Another type of include function which will be less useful here, it is called define directive. Define directive. So this will be used for definition of your own functions, own header files. Suppose you can write hash define a, b, c, anything inside bracket your function. So this way you can define your own function. The basic difference between these two is one will be used when you will write this one, C program will try to find this in the directory where C is installed. But when you will use that, you have to make one file called ABC. Okay, so it will search in the current directory where you are running the program. However, basically you have to be clear about these 4 type of header files, and define directives will be less useful for our case. So as we will go on for examples, it will be clear more. Now coming to the second point, the second part of the C structure, that is sometimes we use int main or sometimes void main. Now the question comes into our mind that what are the differences between these two. The main function is like other functions. It also takes arguments and returns some value. One point we have to keep in mind that the program starts executing from this main function. So the operating system calls this function. When some value is returned from main, it is returned to operating system. Okay. Now the void main indicates that the main function will not return any value, but integer main indicate that the main can return integer type of data. When our program is simple and it is not going to terminate before reaching the last line or code, or the code is error free, then we can use the void main. But if we want to terminate the program using exit method, then we have to return the integer value, suppose a 0 or non-zero in this case. So in this case the void main will not work. So it is good practice to use integer main over the void main. For more clarification, you can take some examples from the page number 11. You can see here the first program is we have used the integer main, and you can see the second program is void main. Now both are simple of course, but here you can see void main is terminated by this GETCH. It is terminated by this, but when you are taking the integer main, the return 0. Okay, so this is the basic difference. Either return 0 or you may not write anything, so it will run. Similarly, you can see the other one, multiplication of two numbers. We are taking integer main. We are expecting some integer value to come out, and we didn't terminate at the last. You can see here. So it will terminate automatically. So that is the basic difference between these two. Of course, it is not a major thing. So whenever you are using very simple program, then you can use void main, except you can use integer main. Other main functions are also there, but for our case only integer main and void main will use. Now we are coming to the third part of the C program structure. So you can see the first line we have understood. This is the header file, and this will include the library. So different header file we have seen, and their meaning also. After that, the second line also we have seen variety of main function. So main function will be used, which type of main function you are using here. Now the third thing, that is the body of the program. So starting from the curly bracket and ending also curly bracket. Now you can see sometimes it is written float. The first line defines the numbers. Any number you can define, any character or number you can define. Character means when you are texting someone, A, B, C, D, E, F, or any name, those are characters. Numbers means if you are assigned 10, 12, 13, any number, integer, 10.3, floating point, so those case you have to define which type of number you want to take. Suppose floating point. Now before going to the next line, we have to understand what does it mean by float. And sometimes you can see here the first line is showing int. This means the integer of, I think you know already the meaning of integer, and meaning of floating point also you may know, but I will clarify again. So different places, different types of number we are defining. Suppose in this case, area of a circle, we are taking floating point. Sometimes we can see here instead of floating point, it will be written double or single like this. So what does all this mean? Single, integer, floating point, double. We'll distinguish between these four types of numbers and how these four numbers can be used in C programming. Now before going to that point, you may be confused. Why different types of numbers we have to consider? Suppose, for example, a simple example I'll consider. You know about pi, pi equals to, the symbol is pi, equals to 22/7. So earlier in the school you have written pi equals to 3.14, isn't it? So if it is 3.14, did you verify the value? If you verified, you can see the actual value is not 3.14. So first, to verify that, you divide 22/7. If you have divided, you can see the value will be something like 3.14159 like this. But for the school studies, we have omitted this part, so that the accuracy is decreased. Earlier, for convenience, for easy calculation, we have used that number only. the other part 1.00159. If you minus this, it will come like this. So there was a difference between these two. Now suppose you are multiplying so many numbers by pi. That case, multiplying or dividing, you are calculating with pi. So if you continue calculating, this may give a big error. Okay, for manual study this was okay, but for more accuracy you have to consider this part also. Even more will come. That's why different types of numbers were introduced. Okay, so it is not about just pi only. If you divide 10 divided by 3, it will come 3.333. It will go on. So how much point you want to take? As more as you take the numbers up to this or more, then your accuracy will be more. Okay, so now to define these things, different name has been provided, and computer accordingly will understand, okay, I have to take more numbers for more accuracy. Now suppose you are multiplying 3 into 3 equals to 9. So in this case you may take the number as integer, int, because these are integer values and this will not change the output. But instead of this, if you are taking pi, so you have to define, you cannot define this pi as integer, then the error will come. Your result will be very much deviated from the original. That's why we have to define this either double or float. So there is also a difference between double and floating point number. So what is the basic difference? Here computer uses 64 bit and here computer is 32 bit. That means here the accuracy is more in the double case. When you are using a point, suppose 3.14159 more you want to take, here it will take more numbers for the double, but for float it will take little bit less. How much less? Let's see. So for that you should have a clear idea about bit and byte. So that is your homework. What is bit and what is byte? Then you can understand what does 6432 bit is referred for. After that you can also see that half precision, double, float and half also is there. For half it will be 16 bit. That means how much memory the computer will allocate for storing a particular number. So that's why we have to define different values: double, float, single or integer. As you already know, computer understands only 0 and 1. So if you consider a double or single or floating point or half precision numbers, how it will look like, let's have a look. Now we are coming to the next part of the body of the C structure. So we have understood this one, where all the variables we have defined with floating point or integer somewhere. So A, B, C, D EF and mean. So different name we can give. So this part is completed. Now after the next line it is written printf bracket inverted comma enter numbers to add. So as we are making sum and averages, so we'll use addition and average. So printf, what does it mean? After defining the variables or numbers, you are using printf. It means it will print this line where double inverted comma enter numbers to add \n bracket closed. Okay, so it will print on the screen when you run the program enter numbers to add \n. That means anything you can write here inside the inverted comma, double inverted comma, anything you can write. Enter the numbers to multiply or whatever you want to write, you can write. But here one \n is given and after that n is given. It has a different significance. What does it mean? In C programming or other languages, it is called escape sequence. Suppose, for example, enter numbers to add. Okay, so here you have to add the numbers, you have to give the numbers. So when you will give, it will come, suppose you are writing 5. So it will look very odd. That's why we use escape sequence to make it more clear. So \n means new line. So when you write something, it will come in the new line. After printing this one, 5 will come downside. So it will not be messed up with the line. So different escape sequences are there. You can find in the page number of 10. So as these 5s are input, so it will scan the 5 input. Which type of input? Floating point input. So here when you are defining floating point, you have to use %f. Now different types of numbers. Integer, if you use, what type of things we have to write here, that the chart is given here. You can see placeholders, the page number 9. So for character, suppose different types of names you are using, that time %c, signed decimal number. Here you have to see it is written signed. What does it mean? Either plus or minus, both it will take. Signed decimal number will be d, %d. So mostly for the decimal number, the double, we can use %d. I, for %i, signed decimal integer. %e, scientific notations. Now you can see %f, floating point, decimal floating point. Okay, so different values you can use with the different placeholders. Now come to the next line. Of course, I think you have understood for calculation sum and calculation of mean. So here in this part you can calculate, you can write anything mathematical calculation. If you write f equals to multiplication, it will multiply. If you write many different things, different complex equation, it will calculate. So this is the main part of your body. Whatever you want to calculate, you can calculate here. Now these lines, enter the numbers or scanf. This scanf is important, but printf, enter the numbers, you can write the numbers are like this. Different things you can write here. Printf also different things you can write, but this part should be, this part is very valuable. So what you want to print on the screen? Sum of the entered numbers equals to, you can write sum is, you can write sum is. So simply you can write sum is. %f, you want the sum should be floating point and it should be new tab, and f, what you want to print? You want to print f. So sum is f. Okay, here differently, sum of the entered numbers equals to sum of the entered numbers are, you can write this one without giving equal to symbol. So what you want to print? F you want to print, and what type of number you want to print? Floating point number. Similarly, for average also you can print mean. So how it is distinguished? It is given a comma. Be careful. The input part, the output part is in the inverted comma, and input part is nothing is there after comma. So these things you have to remember. After practicing, it will be very clear. Now this one we have already defined, and after that this is the termination. I hope you understood the full structure of C program.